RMJ Movie Reviews back again with an on-the-fly movie review of finally Halloween 2018. Okay, I'm just telling you all right now, I'm doing the on-the-fly movie review, and then when I get back to the house, I'm gonna do spoilers. Okay, what did I think of Halloween 2018? It was good. It was good. Um, am I gonna say right now all this praise that it's getting? Uh, I'm gonna tell you right now, um, all this praise, in my personal opinion, is overrated. Way overrated. Way overrated. And that's not in any way saying the movie is bad. It's just simply saying, I think it was earlier last night I saw there was a couple of movie review people who I trust their opinions, and majority of the time I agree with these guys, but every here and there I have a difference in their opinion. Chris Stuckman, who's a fellow Ohioan, uh, Cody Leach. Both those guys are a little bit younger than me, but Stuckman is a little bit closer to my age. And then Drum Dum. Pizzow hasn't put it up yet, which I'm waiting for because that's my dog Pizzow. But Drum Dum is one of the new guys I follow. He's matter of fact, I think he's a little bit way a little bit older than me, but I follow his opinion pretty good. Cody Leach was disappointed by it. So was Chris Stuckman, and Drum Dum gave it a pretty good review. I am lying in the middle in saying that there was enough here for me to like it and think it was good, but is it as great as all this internet praise beforehand? I can say no, and that doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, keep in mind, I'm just simply saying, as pumped up as it was, it's overrated and it's now on that level. Now, is it bad? Like, obviously, it's not nowhere near Halloween Resurrection or Halloween 5 or Curse of Michael Myers. We can just scratch those out your head. It's nowhere near there. I could say it's along the lines of, take the good character moments of H2O, like Jamie Lee Curtis's PTS. You take those elements, which appears to be what they did, and you take that, and then you apply some of John Carpenter's synth score and some of his filmmaking sensibilities, like with actually following behind Myers and all that stuff, and you throw in a little bit of the Rob Zombie-ish kind of kills, brutal kills. It's about what you have here for Halloween 2018. All the stuff that's good about the movie, flat out, John Carpenter and his son's music, really really good. It's got some really kind of moody, kind of synthy 80s sounding stuff in there, which I really like. That was good. Of course, the moments where it just kind of follows Michael Myers around as he walks and stuff, callbacks to Halloween 78 and Halloween 2 1981. Great stuff. The way Michael Myers looks and as vicious as he is, great. Fantastic. Jamie Lee Curtis's performance is phenomenal, and I will say she is this movie. She is this movie. She is fantastic. And one thing that I just now noticed is just the amount of presence that Jamie Lee Curtis has on film. She is a fantastic actress. I think really her scenes in this movie, particularly in the early part of the movie, because that's when the movie is really jamming. The movie is really jamming in the first two acts, and I kind of think kind of in the third act it kind of falls apart a little bit. But the first two acts, like particularly there's a scene where the daughter and the granddaughter, and they're all in the restaurant having a nice meal. That's a great scene. I love the way Jamie Lee Curtis plays that scene. She's she's really fantastic in the movie. Now I've heard people say she's a different Laurie Strode, blah blah blah. Look, guys, when you're 18 years old, you're a fresh kid. Okay, by the time you're 50, 60 some years, even by the time you're 28, 30, 35, you're a different kind of person. Um, I put up my little Halloween homemade movie on there. You can even, I was 14, 14, 15, 16, 17 when I shot that thing. I'm a totally different person now at 37 than I was back then when I was 17 or 18. I mean, essentially, I'm still the same person, but I've grown, I've changed a little bit. So people saying she's not the same character, she wouldn't be the same character. You grow and you change over the years, particularly when you've been affected by a violent event like that. Will Patton. Will Patton, great underrated actor. I've always loved Will Patton and everything he's ever done. He's great here. I really would have liked if he would have got more screen time, and particularly more screen time with Jamie Lee Curtis, because their brief scenes together are fantastic. The actresses that play her daughter, her granddaughter, they're great. I really like the three of their interaction together. Really good interaction. The guy who is the new Loomis, I would call him more of an offshoot of Dr. Wynn from Halloween 6. This guy does not have the Rocky-esque relentless tenacity with care that Donald Pleasance had. And I don't think that's actually what they were going for, but I'm just saying, to call him the new Loomis, nah, this guy's more like a mad scientist. He's really more like a mad scientist type of character. I wouldn't even compare him to Loomis. Even the way he says lines, there's still, Donald Pleasance had a manic, like obsessive energy for the greater good, but he never had a sinister quality to him. This guy I felt had an underlying sinister quality to him. So I wouldn't call him the new Loomis. But the guy is good at what he does. The gentleman who plays the new Michael Myers, fantastic. Fantastic. I know they said that he's a physical actor and he's done a lot of stunt work and physical work. It's really good here. His performance as Michael Myers is really great. It's really great. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of I would have liked a little bit more stalking. But those are all the things that are good about the movie. And like I said, Carpenter's score, the keyboard score, great. Now, let's switch to the bad. Now, there's one negative comment that I've been hearing from everybody's reviews. Everybody's been complaining about the comedy. That didn't bother me. Didn't bother me one bit. I in my personal opinion as a viewer, I didn't feel that it was overwrought. To me, I just kind of felt that this was their version of a Michael Myers story. I think one comment I saw on YouTube on somebody's review was, this is a very expensive fan film. And I would agree with that assessment. The good fan films that we've, Halloween Michael Myers fan films, and there's hundreds of them out there on YouTube. But guys know, there was one that I can't find the trailer anymore, but there was one where it never even was a fan film. It was just like a trailer that they put together of a fan film never made. And it was fantastic. I wish I could find it. I don't even remember what that fan trailer was called, but just the way they had the lighting and it was great. It was great. I wish I could find it. But Dave McCrae has done some really good. He's out of Canada. He's done some really good fan Michael Myers films. And there were some other guys that I had on there. What was that one called? Damn, I cannot remember it. I can't remember the name of it. But it was a really good one too. But I'd say this is just an extension of kind of it's just a really expensive fan film. with Jamie Lee Curtis in it and John Carpenter making contributions. Essentially a Halloween fanboys fan film dream, you know. But the comedy in the movie didn't bother me. I thought I was fine with it. It just didn't bother me. I just thought it was just that element that they brought to their version of Michael Myers. I think where the movie, particularly for me, where it really lacks is that third act. I think just going into the third act, the movie kind of started to fall apart. It really just kind of, it really fell apart. I think another thing is, at least in the part of the storytelling, I think is everybody being aware that Michael Myers is on the loose. I think kind of took away from some of the tension. Now I did hear one assessment that some people said it doesn't have enough atmosphere to it. I would agree yes and no with that. I would agree with the fact that it does not, people saying, oh, this is second to the original. No, it's not. In my personal particular opinion, Halloween 2 1981 is better than this film to me. And I'm going to put my review of Halloween 2 tonight. I didn't do it. I switched it around, guys. I'm sorry. But I think that I really think that Halloween 2 is better than this. So, but I think it's the third act is where it just really, really kind of just falls apart. I think they just kind of a little bit lost kind of focus there a little bit. And like I said, what I would have liked was, as far as the atmosphere is concerned, I would have liked if they would have just slightly slowed the movie down, just a tad. And I understand you can't slow it down like Halloween 78. You just can't. You can't. But I just would have liked if they would have slowed it down just a pinch, just a little bit. Let Michael Myers stalk a little bit more, because there were scenes where he was doing some stalking and where the camera was just following him, and I was with it, and you had the John Carpenter score in, and it was like, and then the camera, and he just kind of goes, and the camera followed it. I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about, baby. Oh, that was great. The scene, and I so wish they wouldn't have did in the trailer, but I understand they got to sell tickets, so they got to give away the best one. But honestly, the best, outside of the character stuff with Jamie Lee Curtis, the best Michael Myers moments is honestly that one they gave away in the trailer with him going from house to house. That was bad. In the full version in the movie, it's just, with John Carpenter's score and just following him up the steps when he gets the knife, and it's just like, and it follows him all the way through the house, and he stops. And I love how when he goes through the house, he stops, and you can almost, by his body movements, you can tell Michael Myers is thinking about calculating what his next move is going to be. Oh, I loved it. Oh, man, that was bad. And if the whole movie, if they would have just put more of that, I just, and that, you know, and as much as John Carpenter and even Deborah Hill, rest in peace, how I don't think they were particularly that crazy about Halloween 2 because they were forced into it. But Halloween 2 has a lot of the stalking and the following and all that stuff. And I think, although these guys really love Halloween 1, I could tell. And this movie, it is very respectful to Halloween 1. But, and I understand that might be a business decision. I think there should have been some more stalking in the picture. Because there's one scene where you seen in the previews with the babysitter and the little boy where it shows a point of view of her in the house and you hear the Michael Myers breathing. And I'm like, yes, this is Halloween 1. Yes. And even 2. And like there's a moment where her and the boyfriend are making out. And see, this is they do what I was talking about on Halloween 1. They do those moments where like characters in one place and they hear a far off noise and they kind of go like, what's that? Or you see the aftermath of what Michael is doing. Or for example, Halloween 2, right? When he's gonna kill the big fat security guard guy, right? So the security guard guys is going to investigate the place and he sees some tools are gone, right? Or there's blood where the electrical socket was. So it just shows you Michael was here. He's crafting his plan. He's getting his weapons. He didn't pull out the power. He's constructing the plan. So there are those little nuggets in the movie of how calculated Michael Myers is, and I love that. That's when it does great. But I think not having as much stalking, not showing too much of his calculating, and also too, I think in this movie they this whole thing they've been saying in pre-release about, oh well, he's human. I just think really in this movie they just don't mention as much of him or try to build enough atmosphere to make him feel like a force of nature. So does he feel like the force of nature of 1 and 2? In my particular opinion, as a Halloween fanboy, no. Does he feel like a very vicious killer? Yeah, he nailed that. There's no question about that. But does he just feel like that boogeyman wrath that's unstoppable? No. And there's one scene going into the third act that really kind of kind of messed that up a little bit right there. But and I say to build the atmosphere of Halloween 178 and even of Halloween 2, Rick Rosenthal's, that's a very hard thing to do. I mean, you don't have Dean Cundey, and also you just don't have the moments of him just stalking in the Steadicam. So, by making the pace quicker and again adding more people that I'm talking about, there's not enough isolation, more people, you lose a lot of that threat. There were sprinkled moments of tension. Did I feel it was scary? Nah. I mean, I've heard people say Michael Myers is scary again. Is he scary again? In moments he is. I will say that thing with the going from house to house, that was pretty rough. That was pretty rough. I was like, damn. So that was like when I was like, okay, he means business. But I just think ultimately by not building up the force of nature aspect, not having enough stalking, it kind of falling apart in the third act. I think that ultimately really kind of really knocked the movie down a couple notches. The lighting, I wasn't particularly crazy about the lighting choices they made, but this was their version, and I think it works for this movie. I did on I think Wes on his channel, he talked about I'm sorry, was it he talked about the lighting? What was else he talked about? With it being shot, this film was shot in digital. I will agree. I think for me as a hardcore Halloween fanatic, that does take away from it feeling like Halloween. It doesn't to me feel like it's a part of Halloween 1 or 2 to me. It feels like like I said, it feels like a really expensive fan film is what it feels like to me. Now when it does feel like Halloween 1 and 2, it's like that shot from killing the old woman to killing the girl next door. That right there, anytime the camera is just, or you see Michael Myers, there's a part where Will Patton is in the house and he sees Michael Myers walk past when he sees Laurie. That's when it feels feels like old school Halloween. So, you know, when they make the sequel, because this will make a lot of money this weekend, I don't know how long this movie will be out because it's pretty overrated right now. They better step up on that stalking stuff. But you know, it was fun, but I think the third act kind of really just it fell apart. It fell apart. So you know, I would say mild recommendation, but is it great? No, it's good. It's good, and then I stream into good with fine. You know, it is a fun little horror movie, but it being right next to Halloween 1, no. And I don't even think it's better than Halloween 2. So guys, I'm going to come back with spoilers tonight, but that's my review of Halloween 2018. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Don't forget to hit the little bell and leave comments down below. The spoiler review will be coming tonight, guys. RMJ Movie Reviews. I'll see you soon.